Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the Kingdom of Poland here in May of 1347, where we are going to be declaring, well, we already have declared war on the Teutonic Order. We have 276.1 ducats, making 13.4 monthly. We do need a new commander. We do have an underage heir, which we knew about. RGOs are missing employees. Children can have better education. Unraised army levies, which I don't think we want to raise, just to be honest, right now. Mainly because, while it would obviously help the war end a little bit quicker, right? I don't think we need the entire army, and I don't know what the economic impact of a war is going to be exactly just yet. So we're going to take our royal army here with our general Jan Yidrich Usabursko. And then the rest of our army, we're going to try to have meet a kills, or the rest of our armies, I guess I should say, because there's several of them. And those are all just our levies. Now, we can raise a few more levies. Right. I think I might raise a few more. All right, pause it, I'll raise. And maybe Gdańsk I'll raise. Although it's just 269 men, I don't know if that's really worth much. I mean, it's worth something, don't get me wrong. This Conan. But again, we don't have a lot of control up here, so there's just not going to be a lot of manpower forthcoming. But you know what? We will raise Gdańsk. So we'll raise both of those two provinces. As well. We do have the missing employees. Firecloth is still a little short. Pops still have a little bit of needs. We are losing negative 7.908 population right now. We do have the Black Death also in the Kingdom of Poland currently. Which is obviously not a good thing. So I think what we're going to try to do is we're going to spend the 26 ducats, we'll gain 7 stability, 2.5 legitimacy, and procure for the remedies. If we build a disease-resistant building, a hospital would cost 154.48. Disease resistance plus 10%. It'd also take a year. So I think for right now, I'm going to say, you know what? We're procuring remedies. We're going to see how that goes. We're going to let the game run. I think we will give our king command of the mainly levied army that's going to be gathering in Cernaz. Now, I know in EU4, right, giving your ruler command of the army increases the chance that they may die, which is obviously not something we would want. And, you know, we'll have to see how many people die from the Black Death. Obviously, historically, that was an incredibly devastating disease in Europe and other parts of the world. So hopefully we'll be able to avoid the worst of it, being more rural. It obviously affected rural populations as well, but there was a slight advantage to being rural in the sense that, you know, people were a little more spread out, but again, whole villages, communities were still wiped out in the countryside as well. So it was not like it only impacted those who were in the city. So we're going to move the about 800 men there from Gneisenau and Posen. We're going to take these 5,400 men, combine them. It's going to be called the Third Army. Our king is going to take control of that, and we're going to march to the north. They've got about 5,400 men there. And we'll have a little under 5,000 men here with this army once they finally get there. We have a 3,000 man army of Plock there, and that is an allied force or a vassal force, so we don't need to worry about that. We're making 12.21 ducats currently, or ducats as I have taken to call them. There's 2,600 members of the Teutonic Order. Where are these people going? They're facing the wrong direction to get there. I'm just saying. I mean, love the game, but that's a little weird. There we go. We turned around. Had to get in formation, I guess. So now that this army is unified, we will send them over there as well. I do love the sound effects of the army marching. You can see this is our slightly more professional army. It is interesting how they kind of have to get into formation before they... Ripon has fallen, unfortunately. I guess they were trying to take this place, and they just let the Teutons siege it down. Which really doesn't make sense, but that's what it looks like they did. And of course, our army was just too far away to really get there in time. But now our allies are here fighting the Teutonic Order. So our royal army will actually just send right to Thorn, because we have 11,843 troops between our allied or our vassal army and our king's army. And we did win. So Poland has won the Battle of Ripon. We won 12.14 war score. We lost 541 infantry, 144 cavalry. So we lost a total of 684 men. They lost 1,647. It appears King Kazimierz, the third PS, King of the Kingdom of Poland, gained the Inspirational Leader trait, Army Morale, Recovery Speed plus 2%. This general is an inspirational leader. Troops commanded by this leader will be quicker to regain morale in the face of defeat. Well, that's good. I mean, we're not defeated, but that is a good thing. Currently, we have 12% war score. And we are working on lifting the siege of Ripon. Kulm is being sieged down automatically because we are controlling the province in Lebau. So we did fight this war just for Kelmo, which is this kind of province here. I don't want to take too much land from the Teutonic Order. Can we build a spy network? Yes, okay, because I obviously want to create Valley Casus Belli. At the same time, however, I don't want to declare war like all the time, right? This is obviously we're going to try to expand, create a little bit of a Baltic kingdom over here or empire, but we also don't want to. We're going to send our army over there because that is a fort in Ortelsburg. Again, we're making 12.37 ducats currently. Don't know where their army is going. I mean, Thorn is definitely a fort. Stockade +1. All right, I'm going to look up, so I'm going to not talk for a second. So sorry, a friend just sent me a message, and I was kind of reading it up. Uh, so again, trying to siege out the forest, and as I was saying, I don't want to take too much land. One, war score and irritating my neighbors. Two, I just think it's like realistic to say we wanted this territory, we're going to take that territory, right? More than anything. So I was going to try to look up a different name, but then again, that entire army is going to go away. So while I do kind of want to rename it to something more Polish than the Third Army, at the same time, that's an 100% levied army. So the reason this is the Royal Army is because we do have those 200 regiments of infantry. So it is July of 1347. We could build something, right? We do have the 274.75 ducats. However, with the Black Death in our country, I don't know how many workers we're going to have, right? Because we're still missing a lot of employees. So I don't want to be going around, building too many buildings when we already may be losing a lot of population due to the plague and also the war. I mean, granted, we're not being occupied, and we haven't sustained too many losses, in the war so far, but we're still losing people. Well, I guess now we're gaining people again. So never mind. We were losing people there for a little bit. Obviously, very happy that we are no longer losing people, but it said we had a breach over here in Orlesburg. We do have a tiny army of Kelmo and Papasadia, about 636 men. Where did our allied army go? Oh, there they are. They're part of us here in Thorn. Okay. Really? They're good. How? What? 636 guys is all it takes to unsiege a province. Okay, I guess. That is a little bit of a surprise to me, but fine. Again, I don't really want to raise more levies. I definitely could, but I feel like 16,000 men between ourselves and our vassals here is more than enough to deal with the Teutonic Order. Currently, we are 37 years old. Our eldest son, Władysław, is 8. Sibowet is 6. They did take the siege there, unfortunately. There's another 36 men there. It's just the numbers are very, very much in our favor. It's just trying to see it out now. What are they doing? They are recruiting footmen in Lviv. So one of the things we do want to try to do is obviously is with our technologies is increase the ability to get more and more manpower, drill the army, and create a professional fighting force. If we had the opportunity to create the Polish Lithuanian Commonwealth, we might do that. I don't know that we'll get that opportunity. But if we did, that'd be fine with me. If we just end up conquering much of Lithuania and just be some gigantic hegemonic Poland over here, that is also fine with me, right? I'm not going to complain about that scenario either. So that's why I'm not building anything currently. Although, again, building a hospital would make sense. It just would really hurt my income or my bank balance, right? I guess not my income so much. But it would give us a 10% disease resistance. So we're going to pause just for a moment, actually, and I should have built that. We're still trying. Why is Mistal going down? Like, not changing? I don't totally understand that one. But anyways, so again, building a. We have no country deaths so far. We can't build a mission, but we can build a hospital, which would cost again 125 ducats. It would need 0.1 fiber crocks, 0.02 tools, 0.1 paper, 0.05 books, 0.02 medicaments, and some mercury. All right, so okay, we've got the fiber crops. That's no problem. I don't know if we have mercury. We still say we're low on wheat. That just amazes me. Medicaments were actually dead even there, so it put us a tiny bit below. Marble, mercury, we're dead even. I think books, we have a slight deficit. Yep, we have a slight deficit there. Where are we on paper? Paper, we're exactly even again. Like, we did create some more lumber, right, in a previous episode. Yeah, I know we have unraised levies. I'm well aware of that. So, do we have a hospital? Okay, so Krakow. Got to pause. Sorry again. We have 468 burgers who are available. We have 704. We have 696 clerics, and we have 560 nobles available for employment. We have plenty of food, right? We have 7 needs. Fish is the big one. Fur, we did build another hutty down there in Norway Sachs, so hopefully that helps. That. So I think we will go ahead and build a hospital, which takes. Okay, how many clerics does a hospital take? 100. It costs 125.94 ducats, 365 days. All pops from the religious order of the Judicial Windstow gain 0% satisfaction. But we will go ahead and build a hospital in our capital. It also helps our own life expectancy, right? So that's not a bad thing, even without the Black Death. Obviously, with it, it's even better, but improving our life expectancy, it's never bad. It's one of the reasons, you go to the gym, you try to take care of yourself, you try to live mostly healthy, right? So we do have just 173 ducats, still making 12.29. So the income is not terrible. Maybe we'll build a hospital in Poznan. I keep wanting to build a new town, though. Give us a third control town. Now, Plock. Now, Rawa here, we're about going to be able to annex them. Now, I don't want to annex them necessarily during the war, though. As we are improving opinion of all of our vassals. Well, most of our vassals. Cirque, Rawa, and Plock. Our Enclave, we're not currently improving the opinion of our vassals. I would like to win one of these sieges. Can order assault. We're to fail, so we don't want to do that then. What about over here? Can we order an assault here? Okay, take over the siege. Okay, so can't really do that either. I mean, I'm tempted to raise the levies because that we haven't raised, so they can go, take some territory. Because this war is going to drag on and on if we cannot take one of these stupid forts. I really don't want to be raising all my levies, though. All right, we are going to move our... Okay, the sale of titles. One of our advisors is suggesting selling off titles to Slack to anyone who can afford to pay. It can bring in lots of money and open a way for social advancement for the rich if we do. But it would devalue the idea of the Schlachten and perhaps upset the existing aristocratic families. Yeah, no, we're not going to do that. So we did come in here with our daughter's husband, right, to try to fight off the Pomeranians, and we lost 8 men. They lost 373. It appears Jan Jędrycz Lussembursko, general of the Royal Army of Poland, the Polish Royal Army, is the defensive planner. Any troops led by this leader will be more resilient to shock. I like that. I like that a lot. So as the war drags on, as we cannot really take anywhere, apparently. And I get that, right? We don't have any cannons. We have mostly levied armies. I mean, it makes sense. It really, really does. It's a little frustrating, but and we are building our hospital now. So we're paid for the medicaments or the medicine. We're also building a hospital. Should have done that originally when we first learned that the Black Death was coming, I suppose. But hey, Cold is occupied by us. Gives us a plus 11% war score. Still can't take their forts, which is just amazing. So we are going to go here for the Bao because that is the capital, which is actually unsieging Cold by itself. We are still gaining people, 1,419. We are losing 0.2 prestige. And we did defeat the army of Papasadia, which is right there. So we should be able to take that. We also have the army of Orbia, which does not have a leader. So if we can knock out their vassals and little allies, may not be the exact same as defeating, leading against the army of the Teutonic Order itself, but will give us war score, will help us a little bit. At some point, these forts should fall. Right? I mean, they've been besieged for a long time now. Again, the Black Death spreads, the killer mankind, the punishment for sins has arrived inside our country. What can we do? Well, we're building a hospital and we're paying for the medication, right? So, granted, the hospital is just in our capital region. Supply shortage. I mean, they've had a breach, they've had a supply shortage. I don't really know what else there is for us to do there besides just taking the fort, but that is obviously something that's proving to be quite difficult. And I could be building more, right? I could go on well, maybe not a massive building project, but a building project. Because we do have about 200 ducats. But I am somebody who likes to have a nice balance in the bank. Okay, so we do have codified privileges and duties advanced researched. Entrenching the societal role of each estate in our courtly routine will ease the process of granting new privileges without causing rivalries between different estates. Grant privileges cost negative 10%. I like that. Fine cloth is still missing. Hey, we finally took Labao back. Well, no, wait. Labao we already had once. Lasted 19 days. Okay. So we'll send our army there. To Marion Order. We'll go for mills. Mills have been used since they were first discovered in ancient times many centuries ago. However, we are now able to develop more modern and efficient wind and water mills for use in gathering raw materials. Since as of today, we are still more of an agricultural rural country, right, with fewer towns and more RGO output than finished good output, it kind of makes sense, right, to try to go for the expanded mills. We are up to 13% war score. Can we just take one of the forts? So the Black Death has arrived inside our country, as you saw. Hopefully, resolution proposed. Holland has proposed that the Polish Halachian Union enact a policy for the Union Foundation. Centralization versus federalization. Certain laws of the Polish Halachian Union have policies which intend to centralize its many realms into a single political entity. While others support the protection of individual union member sovereignty. Only the most powerful, diplomatically astute member of the union can take the role of the senior partner and centralize the union, while every member can propose federal policies to maintain the status quo. Foundation laws, maintain. Okay, no, we don't want that. So we don't meet any of the requirements for centralization. Vote to establish the seniority. Enables the senior partner, junior partner special statuses. Poland becomes a senior partner, sets a parliament type to Royal Assembly. Yes. All right. Again, I'm like, Poland would become a very large country, not quite as large as like as the Byzantine Empire started to be occupied by the Ottomans. Does it look Scotland? King David Brewis? Okay. Apparently rules Scotland, Denmark. Valdemar Estridsson is back on the throne. That's a nation I may try to play sometime is Denmark, but not entirely sure if we will on that one. So I don't want the war to go on for too long, right? For forever, because the occupation of Marian Winter is successful. So we would have to march all the way around just to get there. I don't want to do that. We'll go to Marienburg. I mean, we are at plus 15% war score. Currently, we are still gaining pops, so we're not losing too many people for the Black Death just yet. We are into January of 1348, however. Father, abandoned child, wife, husband, one brother, another, for this illness seemed to strike through the breath and sight, and so they died. Great pits were dug and piled deep within the multitude of the dead, and as soon as these ditches were filled, more were dug, and so many died that all believed it was the end of the world. We don't control the food. Why would we want to control the food market? In these trying times, our biggest priority is to ensure the supply of grain and other foodstuff, forbidding its export even at the cost of angering the merchants of our nation. I don't think so. Sponsor mass forgiveness. The plague is a punishment from God for the sins of the people. We can fight it by organizing mass church services all around the country and encouraging the populace to cleanse themselves from the state of sin. We get 12 stability, but we pay for clerical services. I don't know about that. I don't want to find scapegoats. I feel like that, like the Jewish community and other kind of minority groups were oftentimes the scapegoats. Venice has lost 28,000 people. The Permian clergy has lost 23. Muscovy has lost 12. The Golden Horde has lost over 500,000 people. Perm has also lost over 100,000. So, so oftentimes, especially in, here in Western history, as you can see, this is the tiny little army of Bosnia. Now, Bosnia would be a lot of fun now. It is a vassal of Hungary, though, so the Hungarians, they're suffering attrition, but who is Hungary at war with? They're at war with, okay, loyalty. Trying to see who they're at war with. Oh, there it is. The First Hungarian-Bulgarian War. There's the Bulgarian forces. Now, what I will say is I do want to play as Bulgaria, right? Because you couldn't really play as them in the base game EU attacks as you obviously could in that mod, but in the base game you could not. So we have found the remnants of the Teutonic Order's army. Since we don't have the fort, though, I don't think we can ask for Kelbo, right? We've occupied some territory, but we haven't taken any forts. We've won some battles. We've taken a couple of their vassal territories. We have 169 days left on the hospital being built in Krakow. We have lost 565 people, 389 to the bubonic plague, 0 to influenza, and 175 to smallpox. You can see the bubonic plague, the great pestilence, influenza, malaria, measles, smallpox, and typhus are currently going on. Wait. Okay, so we've lost 389 people to the Black Death, and we have lost 565 to total diseases. And we have 5% disease resistance because we have alchemy age 1. God, this is amazing. But can we please take a fort? Please. Because I'd like to end the war in this episode. But okay, so let's see. Would they even accept a peace? Right? If we take just Kelbo, yeah, they would not accept. See, negative 13. So we need to take some fortresses. Unfortunately, our allies' army here in Thorn, our army here in Ortelsburg, seem totally incompetent when it comes to taking a fort. And again, I get it. We don't have cannons. We don't have a professional army. Makes sense. It does make sense. I understand. But, like, they've been besieged for months now. They've had breaches. They've had a lack of food. You would think we have a supply short. Krakow is depopulating. I would imagine because of the plague. Oh, I don't know, but that would be my guess. Yep, 2,900 people have now died inside Poland. So yeah, hopefully that hospital, which we should have built earlier, comes good. 28% chance of falling. Hey, it finally fell. Dear God, Orlesburg. The siege of Orlesburg lasted 216 days. 216 days. So we are going to take Ostrode and Neidenberg just because we took the fort there. And now we can move our army in here to fight the army of Orbia. The Battle of Allenstein, we won. We lost nobody. They lost 491 men. I mean, that's impressive to fight them. I mean, even against, where you have this much superior odds to not lose a single man in a battle. That's kind of cool. So obviously, well, hey, I give the First Army of Warbia credit. They're trying to fight. I would question their intelligence to take 200 men against 5,200, but I don't think this is going to be a very long battle. We are going to send our royal army to try to chase their army, though. Social cravings. Ever since the arrival of the plague, many have avoided large gatherings and public festivals out of fear, but over time, even the most asocial individuals will eventually crave interacting with others. The grumbles and complaints of the shops are growing louder by the day, withholding and discouraging festivities any further could cause quite a lot of social upheaval. Yeah, we cannot risk the spread, so they'll lose 10% of state satisfaction, but we will gain 2 towards serfdom. Like, I get it. I do. I understand. But Krakow, Polska, Ostro, and Kolo are all depopulated. Again, the plague, right? No, don't leave the morons. Oh, they're leaving the siege. Allenstein is successful. Fighting the Teutonic army here. We won the Battle of Ostrode, gained 5 war score. We lost 210 men. They lost 770. Well, at some point, this army is supposed to get there. 15th of March, apparently. When did this war start? Does it say when it started? We won the Battle of Allenstein. I think. Oh. We will send our army over here to Heilsberg. I don't know why these morons are here, but we don't need their help, but 28% war score. Making 11.58 ducats. Like, I feel like building another hospital posit is probably the way to go. Osterode is successful. We're at 29% war score now. Yeah, more and more places are losing people. Wazika, Wilkie. I mean, everywhere's losing people. Plague, unrest. The outbreak has been handled too incompetently. Sorry. The disease is running rampant, killing the friends and loved ones of those lucky enough to remain. If we do not take an immediate corrective course, the populations of our most affected areas will rise in revolt and put our kingdom to the torch. We must quell their anger, or at the very least redirect it to something else. Print propaganda, lose 85 ducats. Blame the Swazian people. Ooh. Who are we blaming? Prince of Assyrians loses opinion of us. Who are these people? I don't even know where that is. Pop said having the location currently afflicted with the bubonic plague will suffer reduced pop satisfaction based on the presence of the disease. We're going to deal with it. I don't want to spend the money to print propaganda. We're not going to blame other people, but we will deal with the rebels directly. I mean, I do think this war is we're about ready to be able to end this war. So we will be able to bring our armies to bear if we do have a rebellion. Obviously, that's not what we would want, but and we are going to, if we go up here to another hospital in Poznan. Okay, Heilsberg we win. Poznan would cost 137 ducats. We have 283 available clerics. Take a year, but we'll build a hospital in Poznan. All right, so we're down to 122. 30% war score here on April 12th. The war began. Does it say when the war began? I still don't see where the war began. I think it's basically a year. Can we get money from them? Not very much. Okay. So it's not really worth it. So you can see we can't take all of Kelmno, which is what we wanted to do. It'd be a successful war. We can end the war here as we are losing 24,464 people from the Black Death. You know what we're going to do? We're going to take this army down here to Frauenburg, try to besiege that. Well, it looks like it's already being besieged, so never mind. And then if we're able to do that, I think we will end the war, right? Probably in May, early May, maybe May Day itself. think this is the third army yet with our king, Władysław Piast himself. We are ranked the 30th country in the world. The Schlachta is not happy. The clergy is not happy. I mean, to be fair, I don't know why anybody would be happy. Again, rapidly depopulating. 24,000 people a month, or is this yearly? We did kind of chase the Teutonic. Nope, we're fighting that Teutonic army. I thought we maybe chased them away. We lost 2, they lost 100. So they're raising levies at the same time as they're being sieged down because we have the capital. That's interesting how that works. Block division, fog of war, I like that. Yeah, we have no promotion deposit for the marketplace or the castle. We're up to 26,000 people being lost now. Goodness gracious. We have lost 57,097 and we have won. Outbreak, right? Overall, the Black Death has killed 3.67 million. Golden Horde has lost 833,000. Naples, almost 250,000. Verona is 124,000. Papal States, 115. We're doing a little bit better so far. We're only at 50. Only, that sounds terrible. We're at 57,000, which is awful. Egerberg is successful. All right, it is the 11th of May. This war's got on, I think, a little bit over a year. And we will take Kelmno. So we'll get Kulm, Lebau, Strasbourg, Dredowitz, Gradec, and Thorn will all come to Poland. So the Teutonic Order has accepted our peace terms. All right, we disbanded our entirely levied army. And we'll start marching our army back. We have truces that are going to expire in 1352. Exiled armies, we're working on that. Army, all right, we're going to disband all levies. Because levies have been raised in peace, and we have 180 professional men. So it is May of 1338. That did take a little bit longer than I wanted on that episode, but we are 43 days away from our first hospital, 252 days from our second hospital. The Black Death is definitely wrecking the country a little bit, or a lot bit, actually. Although we're up to 73,000 people now. Although I think that was probably just from Kelmo. And the added population there. We also... Okay, nope. I was going to say we have the ability to annex one of our vassals, but we do not. Okay, truce is expiring, missing employees. The Schlapstow are unhappy. Pops with needs, locations depopulating. I think it's slowing down maybe a little bit. Not entirely sure about that though. But thank you everybody for watching. We're getting to June here. Oh, we did get our hospital in Krakow built. So hopefully that will help a little bit. We all are still paying for the medication to try to treat the plague. Papal warning. News has arrived of an official decree by Pope Calixtus III Morale warning the rulers and community leaders to avoid fueling hatred against minorities. The Black Death is without doubt an act of God. Anyone who claims otherwise is committing blasphemy and could be excommunicated. Unfortunately, minorities make for great scapegoats and targets for anger, which great tragedy strikes. This is a sad fact of history. Whether we choose to, and my current day even, whether we choose to continue to benefit from this or heed the papal warning is up to us. We will agree with the Pope. The priests get 10% of state satisfaction. We gain 5 religious influence, but we do lose 2 legitimacy, but that's fine. I don't want to persecute people. Unused trade capacity in the market went down to 8.3 ducats. But we have lost people. And we, again, negative 37,000 now. That's where we're going to end the episode. Thank you. We have first successful war. We are getting close on a couple vassals to maybe potentially annex them. We do have a union event there with Holland, and the Black Death is kind of kicking our butt. So, thank you everybody for watching. I'll try to do better in the future. Take care, and I will talk to you all later.